Coming off the month of March Madness, OU students are still soaking in the highlights and waves made by this year's competitors. We went out to interview students to hear about the games, performances, and most importantly, their brackets.
So I got 7 of my 8 elite picks right this year, which is unprecedented. I usually get like 5 to 4, usually I get half right. But I thought it would be a chalk year. You know, a lot of the good teams just seems like they were just better than the rest of the field this year. Not too much like variance, I think, from the lower seeds, and yeah, I think it paid off in a huge way this year. I think there's been a lot more demand for it. There's been a lot more shift, and I think that has to do a lot with the storylines that are covered with the game surrounding and outside. I think the women's game really struggled, I think, to create superstars that fans can follow throughout their collegiate careers, and I think with the arrival of Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, we kind of saw a rise in that. And so we're starting to see athletes like Juju Watkins and Paige Buchers kind of carry that torch and really become the new faces of the sport. And with the performances that they've been putting on recently this season and in the tournament, I think it's paid off in a huge way.
A large increase has been made in college basketball's popularity due mostly to established teams like Duke and UConn, as well as recent powerhouses like Caitlin Clark and Paige Buchers. This bump has led to more investment and stakes in brackets.
The first round was smooth. Everything after that, it was like, I got some right and some wrong, but like, now it's like, I got everything wrong, but like the current like Final Four, like I got correct. So I'm personally saying this as someone that likes basketball more than football, but like to me personally, I feel like March Madness, especially now, has been on like the same level as the college football playoffs. Because like even for me, for the longest time, like I've not been a huge fan of the college football playoffs because it was like the 4 team, but ever since they expanded it, it actually made it a bit more interesting, in like my opinion. So I feel like now like both the basketball and like the football side of like college stuff has been great. So
a long-time popularity for men's college basketball is now transitioning to women's basketball due to outstanding performances by up-and-coming players throughout the past seasons.
In recent years, I think women have been more on like the top because of Paige and Caitlin, and that's definitely like with the help of social media and just pushing women's sports out there. But I feel like in recent years, it has been more men and male dominated. But I feel like within like the last 2 years, it's more eyes on women. So I'm all for it, especially like with Paige and Caitlin. Like they've really pushed them out, and I think that's great for young girls of this generation to know that like you can still play those sports and do good and do big in them.
Reporting for The Post, this is Audrianna Reed.